You know, yesterday, uh, around 10 o'clock in the morning, I got a call. A friend of mine who works for one of the national TV stations and asked me to come and talk to him. So, while I was there were other people who want to listen to what I was to say about the upcoming meeting with regard to uh, with regard to Islam with a couple of scholars, and they were excited and they said they might have some representative to be at the meeting or be at the conference. So at that point, one of the ladies who were there asked me, Dr. Jasing, what do you think about the verse 532 in the Quran? Could you explain in your own words? She asked me. The verse 532, I told her, is the most ripped out of context verse in the Quran. And Muslims and even political leaders and news organizations often refer to this verse in order to show that Islam teaches murder is wrong and saving lives is the prescribed action for all people. Whereas there are many verses which call for killing the non-believers, when I say the non-believers, I am not referring to the enemies who were engaged in war with Muhammad for 23 years, but those who did not believe in Allah and considered to be in war with Islam. She asked me to explain. She asked me to explain what I was saying. But I told her, this is not absolutely not what the verse 532 says. In fact, it says almost the exact opposite. In indirect language, that is, if you kill a Muslim, it is as if you have killed all mankind. And if you save the life of a Muslim, it is as if you have saved the lives of all mankind. Let me quote. Let me quote the verse 532 in its context, with all words included. Emphasis is going to be mine. Because of that, we ordained for the children of Israel that if anyone kill a person not in retaliation of murder, unless it be for murder of spreading mischief in the land, it would be as if he killed all mankind. And if anyone saved a life, it would be as if he saved the life of all the people. Then, although there came to them one apostles with clear signs, yet even after that many of them continued to commit excesses in the land. Unquote. This verse 532 begins with the phrase because of that. Because of what? Obviously, referring to what was said in the previous verse 531. Before we analyze and study the verse 531, let us look at how it begins. Then Allah. This connotation also is a continuation in reference to the previous verse, which is 530. So, in order to interpret and analyze and to be within the context of its intended meaning, we should study the verse 532, beginning at least from verse 530, 2 verses prior. I quote 530. So the self of the other encouraged him and made fair seeming to him the murder of his brother. He murdered him and became one of the losers. Now let us analyze. Who is this referred to as the self of the other? If we go back to the verse 527, we see that Muhammad is reciting the story of the murder of Abel and Cain, the two sons of Adam and Eve. So this other person referred in the verse 530 is Cain, who murdered his brother Abel. The next verse 531 says that then Allah sent a crow who scratched the ground to show him, referring to Cain, where to hide the dead body of his brother Abel. Muhammad continues with his biblical story, which is not exactly what is found in the Old Testament. Genesis 4:1 through 18. He, the murderer, said, "Woe," I quote, "woe to me! Am I not even able to be as this crow, and to hide the dead body of my brother?" Muhammad recites, then he became one of those who regretted. End of verse 531. Now we get to analyze 532. Now, why did Cain kill his brother? In verse 27, Muhammad says, when each offered a sacrifice to Allah, it was accepted from the one but not from the other. The latter person, meaning Cain, said to the former, who is Abel, "I will surely kill you." So Cain killed his brother because Allah favored him. Now, we know why the verses 532 begins with the phrase "because of that." Because Cain killing his own brother Abel for being favored by Allah. So why did he refer specifically to the children of Israel, the Jews, in this verse? Muslims consider the Jews to be descendants from the same father, Abraham, and therefore Jews to be brothers. So he warns his Jewish brothers that if they kill any person, as Cain did to his own brother, and referring to the Muslims favored by Allah, it would be as killing all mankind. This reference is further affirmed by the continuation of 532, which says, "And indeed, there came to them," meaning Jews, "our messengers with other people, other proofs, evidences, and signs. Even then, many of the Jews continued to exceed the limits set by Allah in the land." End of verse 532. He was referring to the Jews. He was warning the Jews. The reference of the interpretation is further evidenced by the verse 533 that follows. The recompense for those who wages war against Allah and His Messenger and do mischief in the land is to be killed, crucified, hands and feet be cut off from opposite sides. He was not referring to all mankind. He was referring to the Jews. If they kill any of the Muslims, there should be no ambiguity about this verse 532 in the Quran. The Islamic scholars knew the meaning and its reference. However, they misconstrued the verse to the non-Muslims in order to show the world that Islam condones violence. The biggest lie that has been told to advance a violent religion with numerous commandments to kill the non-believers. There are many who quotes this verse as proof to say that Islam is a religion of peace. Why do the erudite Islamists of the Fiqh Council of North America want to hide this truth? When Muhammad warns to the children of Israel, the Jews, that you kill a Muslim who is favored by Allah, it is like killing all mankind. And if you save a life of a Muslim, it is like saving the lives of all mankind. Now, did you understand what I said? I asked this lady. She was surprised. She was completely in shock. Not only her, but all of them. And I want to say that this will be not debated, but I will ask this question, but not going to debate, because I don't want to have any friction between the scholars from Islam and myself and my panel about this matter. Thank you.